Hi everyone, I'm Lisa from the YMCA. We have partnered with Participaction to bring you this stretch class. On the left is Soy, who will be showing you seated variations. And on the right is Gemma, who will be demonstrating the complex variations. Remember to listen to your body and give yourself permission to stretch at that level that is right for you today. Let's get your body stretched and release some tension from those muscles. So let's begin. Let's start by taking a nice couple of deep breaths just to relax our bodies and get us into that release of all that tension. So let's take the arms and let's reach up to the ceiling. Let's take a breath in through the nose as we reach up nice and tall. And we're going to take that breath out as those arms reach down beside us. You're sitting up nice and tall, and we do it again. We take that breath in to reach those arms nice and long. And that breath out through the nose or the mouth, whatever feels comfortable, to bring those arms down. Let's do one more. That breath enters, filling our reach up to the ceiling, and then take that breath out and release it down. As we take those arms and those shoulders, we're just going to slide those shoulders up towards our ears. And as you breathe into it, create that reach up, and then blow out the air as the shoulder blades just slide down into your back pockets. Breathe in to elevate those shoulder blades, lifting them up, and then blow out all that tension as you create that nice space between the shoulders and the ears. We're going to go one more time as that breath enters, sliding them up, and then taking that breath out to relax and to release, creating lots of space between those ears and those shoulders. Let's take those arms forward and still sitting up nice and tall. We're going to reach those arms towards me, opening up those upper backs. And then when you squeeze back those shoulder blades, feel the squeeze as you sit up nice and tall and that breath exits. Breathe in, create that upper back roundness that opens up. And then breathe out to squeeze them back. Remember to keep those shoulders down. And we'll go one more time to open it up. And then squeeze back those shoulder blades to hold there. We're going to take one arm down beside us. And as we take that other arm, we're going to reach up for that breath. And give me that side bend that just opens up down that rib cage, down that midsection, and creates that length over to the side. Just hold there as you reach nice and long, taking a couple of breaths to hold. And now we're going to bring that arm back to center and release it down beside us. You're still sitting up nice and tall, and that other arm comes up, and we reach over into the other side, opening up and extending nice and long. With those nice, slow, deep breaths, just relax into that hold. Now let's take that reach back up to center and float that arm down beside you. Let's take these legs and let's work on these ankles. We're going to point and flex into those feet. That just reaches those toes towards me and then flexes those toes back towards you. Using your breath to have that movement into those heels. And then let's work on those rotations around that ankle joint. We're going to roll around into some circles. Sitting up tall and using your breath. And let's go the opposite way. Up and around. Some nice big circles to loosen up those ankles. And we'll go one more time around and then hold there. All right, as we sit up nice and tall, we're going to start to fold forward or hinge forward into those hamstring stretch. So sit up nice and tall to breathe in, and then hinge and come forward, making sure that you keep a nice neutral spine and just lengthen forward as you open up those hamstrings. Use your breath, and every breath out should feel that little bit more release as we reach the chest towards those feet and extend nice and long. Now let's come back up to towards center Let's go one leg at a time into that hamstring stretch. So we'll bend one leg, place the sole of your foot towards the lower leg, and make sure that we're facing into that extended leg. We're going to breathe in to lengthen forward, and that hinge at the hip lengthens us forward into that one leg hamstring stretch. Once again, use that breath out to just release and extend into that stretch. And let's walk ourselves back up to that center position. Let's take the other leg, extend it nice and long, sitting up nice and tall, and just make sure that upper body faces into that extended leg. Take a breath in to reach up, and then that hinge extends nice and long. Try not to force into that stretch. Just let yourself melt into it as you breathe out. And then let's walk the hands back up towards center. We're going to go down onto one side and get the front of the leg, the quad. So let's roll ourselves down to one side and make sure that you lengthen the body and extend, keeping the head in a nice neutral position. Let's take the top leg and we'll just hold on to it to create that stretch from the front of the thigh. So we want to make sure that we keep the abdominals pulled in, the tailbone tucked under, and add a little bit of resistance into the palm of the hand with that foot. Remember to use your breath and let yourself release into the front of the thigh to stretch it out. And then let's release that leg. Now we're going to go right into an upper body stretch while we're on this side. So I'm going to get you to bring those knees up into a bent knee position and take that top arm, and as those shoulders stay stacked upon each other, we're going to let the top arm reach up. Make sure you take a breath in because the chest is now open into that reach as you extend the arm back. Being really aware of the distance between that shoulder and the ear. Keep it down and back as you open up right across the chest, and then you just melt into it using your breath. And let's take that arm back towards center and release it. Now we're going to come up into all fours. So take your time when you're changing position. We're going to come up onto those hands and knees. And once again, make sure that those shoulders slide down your back and that the crown of your head reaches towards the wall in front of you, and hold those wrists underneath those shoulders. We're going to take a cat-cow stretch. So using our breath, we're going to breathe in. We're going to pull those abdominals up and round the entire spine so that the crown of the head points down as we create that openness. And then when you exhale out, I want you to just drop the belly button just slightly as you tip up the tailbone, draw the shoulders away from those ears, and lengthen up in front. Let's use the breath again to roll through that movement. So breathing in creates that roundness and that openness to the spine. And then taking the breath out to fluidly move into that opposite direction, extending the crown away from the tailbone into that reach. Let's do it one more time. Let's breathe in, round it up, opening up the entire spine into that roundness. And then that slow exhale to lengthen it away and lift up the tailbone. Now from here, you're going to open up the hips by widening into those knees, connect the big toes together, and you're going to sit back in your frog position. So sitting those hips down near those heels, roll into that little ball towards the forehead, towards the floor, and reach down into those shoulders to press into the arms. Once again, a nice slow deep breath. Just letting yourself melt into that position and that openness. And then let's release it. Beautiful. Let's bring those hands towards your knees. And now we're just going to slowly roll ourselves over to the other side. So as we roll down, we're going to extend into the arms so that the head can relax on top of that arm. Lengthen the body away. And then let's take that quad stretch into the opposite side now. So that top leg comes in. That's it. Knees line up over top of each other. Once again, you're using your breath and adding a little bit of resistance to open up that front of the thigh into that quad stretch. A nice long line, breathing into it. Nice. Let's release that leg down. And as we bring those knees up into that bent position, the arm in front reaches forward, but keeping those shoulders stacked upon each other. We take a breath in and we reach that arm up to open up the chest into that reach that extends back behind us. Keeping the shoulder down, right across the chest into the openness of your breath. And now breathe in and then exhale that breath all the way back to bring it forward. Let's roll ourselves onto our backs. Take your time in those transitions of different positions. Let yourself focus now on back into your breathing. We're going to go into some window wipers as we reach those arms nice and long. We're going to keep the shoulders down and the openness to the chest. We're going to focus now on just rolling the hips or the legs side to side and just loosening up that lower back and hips. So continue to breathe and let the legs fall towards one side and the opposite side. And we'll just go back and forth. And then we're going to hold on one side, and you're going to feel a little tug in that opposite shoulder blade as you reach down to it. Remember, use your breath to release any tension and to relax into the stretch. And now let's go back and forth again. So as we keep breathing, you're going to roll the knees to one side and back. And then one more time on each side. And then let's bring it back towards the other side and hold. Feeling that extra reach in the opposite arm as we reach away from it. And continue to breathe. Now, keeping the knees on that one side, let's just gently roll ourselves in towards that side. And then give ourselves a little push back up towards center and come into that position sitting up. So we're going to take the arms, we're going to work on some upper body stretches, going into some smaller muscles into the bicep. Let's just take a grip onto those thumbs, make a fist, and then turn the thumbs back, opening right across into those biceps as you sit up nice and tall and breathe into it. That's it. Relax the shoulders. Make those arms feel nice and long and those biceps even longer. Let's release that and take one arm across. And we're going to go into the tricep now, the back of the arm. So sitting up nice and tall, keeping these shoulders down. We're just going to add a little bit of resistance to it as we draw it in and draw it out at the same time. Just make sure you're either above or below that elbow as you add that resistance to it. Sitting up nice and tall. And then release it. Let's take the opposite arm, bring it across. Watching those shoulders stay down. And then breathe into that release. And then relax. And our final stretch, we're going to work on some wrists and some extensors and flexors. And it's those forearms that create lots of tension. We're just going to add a little bit of resistance to it as we push down and press up at the same time. Remember to sit up nice and tall and just let those wrists stretch out. Let's go into the other side as we press down, pressing up at the same time. Breathe down into those wrists. And then release it. Beautiful. Let's come to that cross-legged position or whatever comfortable position you find that we can finish today with some nice deep breaths to relax for the rest of the day. Let's take those arms and just relax them down, create that space again between the ears and the shoulders as we sit up tall, but we are nice and relaxed into that reach. Now just close your eyes and focus on your breath. As we breathe in, we feel energized. And as we exhale all the tension and we melt into this position of relaxation. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out. And then we release. Take a nice big deep breath, raise those arms up. And for that final exhale, give me that big reach down. And exhale it out. I hope you enjoyed this stretching session created in partnership with Participaction. I'd like to thank Soy, Gemma, and you for joining us. Stretching keeps our muscles flexible, strong, and healthy. So take that stretch break every day, because everything gets better when you get active.